Hi guys, in my doctors on Thursdays, and welcome to your final video of the year. This covers for the last few weeks, so weeks 7 to 9, and the topic is quite simple. But first of all, I want to see how you are. I hope you are keeping well, and I hope you are keeping very happy. Now, the big topic is this. The topic is about you. Okay, so it's about you. You're talking about yourselves. You in this life are all you have. You're all you have. We do so much in life, but the most important person at the minute we're going to be talking about in this video is you. Now, there are a few activities to complete, and when you're finished, please send your answers to the link below. So, the first one is you are what you have. You are what you have. What does that mean? That means you are putting yourself first. You are all what you have. You need to put you first. Okay? So what I want you to do is I'm going to read out a text twice, and I want you to listen. And I have 5 questions that follow in relation to this. Okay? Alright? So, listen twice and then answer the questions, and I'll discuss the answers at the end. You are what you have. Victims of burglaries often report that they feel they have in some way been personally polluted. This suggests that our possessions are in some ways an extension of ourselves. Think of the kinds of things you buy second-hand. You have no problem in buying a second-hand car, but second-hand underwear, no matter how clean, you might not even want to touch. Even after we die, possessions may still remain a part of us. This is demonstrated by burial sites where domestic utensils, jewellery and weapons have often been found. We may even become immortalised in our possessions as they get handed down from one generation to another. So, allow me to repeat that again to my Thursday groups who are with me, 7 to 9. You are what you have. Victims of burglaries often report that they feel they have in some way been personally polluted. This suggests that our possessions are in some way an extension of ourselves. Think of the kinds of things you buy second-hand. You have no problem in buying a second-hand car, but second-hand underwear, no matter how clean, you might not even touch. Even after we die, possessions may still remain a part of us. This is demonstrated by burial sites where domestic utensils, jewellery and weapons have often been found. We may even become immortalised in our possessions as they get handed down from one generation to the next. Okay, so I'm going to go through a little bit of vocabulary here. So, polluted, there's like congestion, there's too much. If something becomes polluted, it's too much. Okay, if something is the extension of ourselves, that means something is linked to us directly. So something that is linked to us directly. Okay. Another thing that I would like you to remember, so if you're talking about different things like domestic utensils, that's your knives, forks, cookery, things you may have that are part of you. Jewellery and weapons have been found in burial sites. A burial site is where you go, where you are buried, where you will be when you die. And immortalised means after we die, immortalised, you're like immortal. You're not going to die. You're invincible. And it's followed by a complete legacy as well after we are no longer part of this world. But I want you to think of 5 questions here, and I really would like to hear your answers on this. Question 1. To what extent are possessions more important than people? To what extent are possessions more important than people? Question 2. Would you buy something just because it belonged to a famous person? Would you buy something just because it belonged to a famous person? Question 3. How attached are you to your things? What kind of things would you never lend anyone? So lend is to give to someone. How attached are you to your things? What kind of things would you never lend anyone? Question 4. What second-hand things would you consider buying? What second-hand things would you consider buying? And number 5, do you have any collections like scrapbooks, stamp albums, butterflies, CDs? The list is endless. Okay, let me know your answers. Send a recording, a video, anything. Carrier pigeon. I would like to hear what you think about this. Now, the next exercise is like what we're going to talk about is would you ever? So would you ever do X, Y, or Z? What would you do? Would you ever? So there are 10 things. And I'll even give you my own opinion at the end of this. So I want you to think of the 10 following statements. Would you ever ... question mark. So would you ever ... question mark. Apologies. So my question to you is this. Would you ever go on holiday alone? Would you ever go on holiday alone? Would you ever gamble? So for anyone who doesn't know what I mean, gamble is when you roll the dice, play cards to get some money. Bet on a horse, something like that. Would you ever gamble? Number 3, would you ever kill someone, even in war? Would you ever kill someone, including even in war? Question 4, would you ever eat raw meat or raw fish? Ooh, personally, no, I wouldn't, but well, raw fish depends on the fish if it's done properly. Would you ever live in another country? Would you ever steal? Would you ever buy a very expensive wine? Would you ever take drugs? Would you ever wear a fur coat? And would you ever keep something from your family or your friends? Okay, once again, I want you to think about your answers and say or write your responses, and I want to hear them, and my email address will be below this video. And finally, the last topic is about feelings. As humans, and you and myself, we all have feelings. We have feelings when we are happy, we have feelings when we're sad, angry. There are a lot of different feelings. But I want to know, how do you feel in these situations? Okay, how would you feel in these situations? Okay, think about the questions. Don't understand at all, you can email me, but don't feel free to rewind and listen carefully. So, what do you do when you can't get to sleep? So this is question 1. What do you do when you can't get to sleep? What do you do when you are stuck in a 10-kilometer traffic jam? What do you do when you're stuck in a 10-kilometer traffic jam? Oh. What do you do when you're at a party where you know no one apart from the people who are throwing the party? And what do you do when you're at a party where you know no one apart from the people throwing the party? Okay, what do you do when someone walks in front of you in a queue? So a queue is a line. So what do you do when someone walks in front of you in a queue? What do you do when someone is rude to you? What do you do when someone is rude to you? What do you do when you're told a joke which you do not understand? What do you do when you're told a joke that you do not understand? What do you do when you want to cry during a sad scene in a film? What do you do when you want to cry during a sad scene in a film? Think about it. What do you do when you are late for an appointment? What do you do when you're late for an appointment? What do you do when you see someone hitting an animal? What do you do when you see someone hitting an animal? And finally, what do you do when a stranger smiles at you? What do you do when a stranger smiles at you? Okay, I want to hear your responses. Send them. There are lots of different answers to that. I would like to hear what you're feeling, okay? If you're not sure, you can invent your answer as well, okay? But please try and be as truthful as possible. I would like to hear what you're thinking. And also write, you can even write or send an audio and tell me what you think. Okay, so that is the final activity of the course. This has covered the last number of weeks. So, from behalf of myself, I want to say thank you for your hard work. Although I would love to have heard from you a little bit more during lockdown, but I understand for it's a busy time. I know things are different, and I hope you're all well and staying safe. I hope to see you all in the autumn, and hope you are staying safe and keeping well. And have a nice summer, and see you in the autumn. Okay? Stay safe, be happy, and be well. Okay? See you soon, everybody. Bye. Oh, and remember, complete the activities and send them to me. Alright? Bye, everybody. Bye.